These 5-minute radio programs were recorded in 2021 by Jim McDonald for broadcast by KDET in Center, Texas. We hope you'll benefit from these and share them with others.
When Paul wrote his letter to the Romans, he said he was separated under the gospel of God, which he promised afore through his prophets in the Holy Scriptures, concerning his Son, who was born of the seed of David according to the flesh, who was declared to be the Son of God with power, according to the Spirit of holiness, by the resurrection from the dead, even Jesus Christ. Romans 1 through 4. In Paul's day, it would not have been difficult to examine the documents which showed Jesus to be of the seed of David, for the temple at Jerusalem held the documents by which Jacob's descendants could trace their family tree. To establish that he was the Son of God had to be determined by another matter, by his resurrection from the dead. When Jesus entered his personal ministry, one of his first acts was to cleanse the temple. John 2:13 through 16. The Jews said, "What sign showest thou unto us, seeing that thou doest these things?" Jesus answered and said unto them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." John 2:18-19. Jesus' words were misunderstood by many of his nation. Many thought that he was saying that he would rebuild the literal temple in 3 days, and this was his sign to his nation. He gave another sign, the sign of Jonah, that just as Jonah was in the belly of the great fish for 3 days and nights, so the Son of Man would be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and nights. Matthew 12:40. The two figures were the same, however, and both were prophesying that he would rebuild not the Jerusalem temple 3 days after it was destroyed, but that he would be raised from the dead 3 days after he was killed. Jewish rulers understood his claims, however, and when they had him killed, they secured from Pilate a guard to watch his tomb, lest his disciples come and steal his body away. Matthew 27:6-2. Isaiah also prophesied of Jesus' resurrection, saying, "When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days." Isaiah 43:10. When Isaiah wrote that God would prolong his days after he had made his soul an offering for sin, he was simply saying the suffering servant would come to life after he was dead. The first public preaching which offered proof of Jesus' resurrection was given by the Apostle Peter on Pentecost. The proof Peter offered was a prophecy that David had made. David said, "Thou wilt not leave my soul in Hades, neither wilt thou let thy Holy One see corruption." Psalm 16:10. Peter quoted the prophecy and showed how that the prophecy could not refer to David, for David had been dead already 1,000 years. His tomb was still intact. David's prophecy was that Jesus, his distant descendant, would not remain in the tomb in Sheol, nor would his body see corruption. Read Matthew 2:24-32. Peter therefore said, "This Jesus did God raise up, whereof we all are witnesses." Yes, Peter saw the empty tomb, but he saw more than that. He saw him who had been laid in that tomb, who was dead no more. Like all the other apostles, he had seen, touched, handled, and talked without Jesus. But did the apostles really see Jesus? Could they have been mistaken? Continue to study with us tomorrow this question, which is so critical both to our faith and to our salvation.